Well, hi, everybody. Welcome, Catherine and Shelley. What else do you want to know? We have lots of stuff to share out. We're always wondering what else you want to know about. So today we're talking about how to get into bed. We talk a lot about how do you get someone out of bed, but sometimes we miss that key crucial step of getting someone into bed, because what happens next when you get into bed, guys? What's the next thing that's supposed to happen?
Sleep.
So what happens if the transition into bed is not super smooth?
Your amygdala gets triggered about something you might not have liked or might make you uncomfortable looking at those needs we have. And then sleep may elude you.
Yeah, it might take a long time. What do we know? I mean, what's the time frame of the amygdala for it to calm down once it's been triggered? Once our amygdala, our threat perceiver, our flight, fright, fight, freeze, how long?
I think it's 10 to 20 minutes, depending on the level.
I was going with, yeah.
Yeah, it's right around that 20-minute mark if it was super intense, and maybe a little bit less. 20 minutes can feel like an eternity when you're trying to go to sleep. So what we're going to do today is we're going to take a look at how do you get someone into bed, especially focusing in the later states of dementia or physical changes, noticing when somebody is a little less mobile and needing more guidance through rhythm and movement to get to that space where I can comfortably sit, lay down, and roll into bed in a smooth way to not alert that amygdala. So here we go. And this is shot on a phone, so it's got kind of a skinny screen there, but hopefully you guys can see it okay.
So what we're going to do is I'm going to show you first how to get into double hand under hand, which is a real supportive kind of hand position. So it'd be like shaking hands, right hand to right, and then rocking your hand up and forming a platform. And then taking your left hand and doing a similar thing.
What do you guys notice about Abby's ability to be flexible and move her body? What are you already noticing?
It looks pretty stiff to me.
Stiff, yeah. So she's got that sort of stiff and rigid feel to her body, even her hands, while willing, this is as far as the opening goes. Yeah.
So what I did is I took my right hand and reached under with my left so that her elbow is right in the crook of my elbow.
Okay, so now it seems like, well, great, we would just sit down. We would just put her in bed. Not if we're doing it together. So check out this next steps where Teepa and Abby together move to a space that's comfortable and she'll pause so you can see kind of how close, where do I put, because all of these steps seem so fluid when we do it for ourselves, but when you're trying to help someone else get into bed comfortably, we can misjudge distances pretty quickly.
So to get the walking going, if she's having some trouble getting going, what you want to do is tense up your arms a little bit and shift your weight onto the near hip and then the far hip. So you're going to go side to side, and then it's 1, 2, 1, 2. And what I'm going to do is get her to go in a circle. And the reason I want to circle is I want to get her closer to the edge of the bed.
So where did Teepa move first? Did she move forward or back first? Did you guys catch that?
She moved sideways, and I think she moved forward.
Yeah, so she started side to side to get that weight shift going. Because once I'm weight shifting, then I can move forward or back. what is she going to ask Abby to do? Move forward or move back, knowing about the rigidity in Abby's body?
Forward.
Forward is so much easier. Asking me to move backwards is a little bit panic inducing, because if I'm up on the balls of my feet and my muscles are tensed, moving forward is easier.
Isn't it also safer, Amanda? I mean, her ability to catch herself if she's going backwards is going to be almost
Yeah.
impossible.
So she's got her moving side to side, and then she steps forwards to get Abby to step forward. And now she can move back to start the move in a circle.
Mm-hmm.
So to get Abby to start moving forward, she stepped forward and then stepped back once Abby had started that movement.
And rather than trying to get her to back up, which is challenging, a little scary, what we're going to do is do a small circle so that she ends up with her thighs right in front of the edge of the bed. And I want to think about where I want her to be so that when she lies down, her head's going to end up on the pillow. So I want to also sort of figure out where along the bed she's going to be.
How many of us would have totally missed that step? Why is that so important, where you place someone along the length of the bed?
Well, if you place them too high, they'll hit their head on the wall or the bed headboard or something.
Absolutely.
And too low, they'd miss the pillow.
Well, and then it becomes, if doesn't matter whether it's too high, too low, not the right place, then you're doing a lot of manhandling to try to get him in the right place.
Yeah,
And then all that good work just went out.
You got it, because as soon as you're putting your hands on me and pulling or pushing me up or down in the bed, all that good work, like you said. Is it easier to help someone move to a better place while they're standing and mobile, or once they've laid down?
Oh, standing.
Yeah. So
what's cool about that is it's clearly demonstrated that Abby has that side to side motion. So Teepa can still work with that as long as her knees are close to the edge of the bed, that for the bending, she can still adjust and eyeball it when she gets there with that side to side motion.
you got it. You got it. So thinking, again, a lot of what we're teaching is think before you act, and take the extra time in this first part so that once you're ready for the actual task, whatever it is you were trying to do, you've set yourself up for success, and the person that you're trying to support is not threatened by your actions. So cool. Let's keep going.
Then what I'm going to do is spread my legs out, bend my knees a little bit, and I'm going to say, lean forward, lean forward, lean forward, lean forward. There you go. Nice job.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I suspect what maybe you guys have been trying is sit down.
It seems fairly reasonable that that's what you would try.
Mm-hmm.
Instead, which one looks a little bit more comforting and less surprising?
Yeah, the first one.
Yeah.
And if you want to look at it from the side, we'll show it to you from the side. In other words, holding on to like forearms and trying to get her to sit back this way. But what you're actually doing is rocking her off her heels, and she's losing her balance, which is scaring her. If we try to do anything from the front, it's difficult. When we come to the side and I tuck my elbow behind hers, put her arm and my arm firmly across, and I'm at her hip. Then when I lean forward, if she doesn't initially sit, what I can do is touch the tendon. There's the tendon right back here, which will cause an automatic fold. But it's a control fold because I keep her weight over her feet. One other strategy you can try, and this is true whether we're going on the toilet or in the bed, is that I can get in front of her. My forearms are crossed, hand under hand, thumbs up. I kneel down, and then I take my hands and I cue her to sit. Now, when I do that, if she tips forward, she can't go anywhere. If she starts back, I can stabilize it so that she feels really reassured that I'm in control. And yet there's no sense of me pushing her, shoving her at all.
All right, now it's the final step. We're into the final zone here.
So for lying down, what I'm going to have her do is put her elbow out to the side, but keep this arm to the front. Then we'll have her come down on her elbow and bring her feet up. And then she can roll to the back and settle in.
All right. This video, as you noticed, keeps going. Next week, we can talk a little bit about how do you set up a supportive environment so that nighttime movement is less if needed or allowed if needed, depending on which direction you want to go. So using your environment, using your pillows, using your blankets, using all of the materials that you've got wisely. But what did you guys notice? What were the steps to getting someone in bed when mobility is a bit more of a struggle?
Well, get connected and hand under hand.
And
then
not just
first
one.
Getting under to get to the other one.
Yep.
Motion.
Starting a movement and getting
Side to side.
right up next to the bed, legs touching, and distance-wise at about the hip space from the wall. Then what? How do you get someone to sit down in the bed?
Roll them forward or come forward.
Leaning forward. Leaning forward is the motion that is most known for humans, and it is the least distressing. It's a motion I would do if I were going to sit down.
A lot of people don't realize that though. So that's my sort of my ask is that everybody really slow motion on Facebook world, really notice how far you bend over
Right.
to sit down and stand up. Cause that's the one where people like try to bend hips. We don't sit down with our butts first or, you know, and we don't get up like this. We're like this.
Yeah, your arms are really less of a support when standing or sitting unless they're a push motion.
Right.
Yeah. So really thinking about the body mechanics. And finally, where do I put myself? If I'm in front, my arms are crossed, both hands in hand under hand, and I go down.
Down. Yeah.
If I'm on the side, hand under hand underneath, hand under hand here, nobody's arms are crossed, but your elbow is in the crook of my elbow for support.
Right.
Your right elbow and my left elbow. Then we go down together, bend, 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 bend. Cool. And then finally, elbow support, other hand over. That way I make sure your top half doesn't roll and feel unstable. Again, everything I want to do is to make sure you feel completely supported and not moving.
And the one thing I noticed at the very end was the only thing that Teepa did sort of for her is help her lift her feet up.
Yeah, and what's cool, this video is from a consult that Teepa does with individuals. So if you're interested in getting really, really good quality feedback or ideas or videos from Teepa and our family, I mean, that's shot in our house. Trying this stuff out is not rocket science, but it is hard unless you know what you're doing. Getting some of our PAC team or Teepa herself to give you some feedback, that's what our consults do. You don't have to have a crisis situation. It could just be, man, I feel like there's this 20-minute period where she's got to come down because I don't know how to get into bed comfortably. So reach out to us and you get free 30 minutes with our consultants and we can do videos all day long. And if y'all have questions, on Facebook, how to do stuff, let us know and we'll shoot some videos just for you.
Yeah, and I just also wanted to remind folks a couple of other opportunities they have if they have questions and they want a little more in-depth is Ask Teepa Anything is once a month on Facebook or on YouTube. And we also have Dementia Problem Solving, which goes a little bit more in depth with one problem at a time. So just some other places to find some more resources.
Thanks, everybody. Thanks, Shelley and Catherine, for joining. And hopefully you learned something from this. And if you did, reach back out and let us know you did. We always love to hear if it's helpful or if you have some questions about it. That kind of stuff keeps us going. So thanks, everybody.
Hey folks, thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe to help us spread Teepa's positive approach message around the world. And don't forget to click the bell to get notified when new videos are posted.